Welcome to another episode of the Freedom Field Life and Historical Markers. Today we're around Cedartown, and there are a lot of markers in Cedartown, so let's see what they have to say. Before the mall, as with most communities throughout America, the downtown was once home to local branches of major department stores. In Cedartown, grocery stores like Kroger and A&P once had storefronts, and local merchants such as A.C. Cobb, Stubbs, and Hogg, and Rives also lined the streets. Eventually, national players like Western Auto, Belk, Rhodes, and J.C. Penney came to Main Street. Over time, however, the advent of suburban malls and big box retail resulted in historic downtown locations becoming boutique stores or having more specialized services. This marker is for Cobb's Corner. The intersection of West Avenue and Main Street was never intentionally planned to be the center of Cedartown, but eventually, as the downtown grew south from the courthouse, this eventually became the main intersection. In the main image, dating back from 1899, a housel building is shown with Polk County Courthouse clock tower rising above it. The frame building on the corner was a restaurant in 1900 and burned to the ground in 1906. Soon after, A.C. Cobb, who began a department store in 1893, built a handsome brick structure on this corner. Ever since, this spot has been known as Cobb's Corner. Houses of worship in downtown. The First Baptist Church in Cedartown was established along Tenured Branch about 1/2 mile south in 1835. Asa Pryor and William West donated 2 acres for the construction of a sanctuary in 1845. This building served until 1891, when a new Gothic Revival sanctuary was constructed at the corner of Grace and College Streets. The old sanctuary subsequently served as the Bow Opera House and stood until 1901. By 1905, storefronts began to be developed in the former churchyard, but were not yet completely built out until the 1930s. The local Presbyterian Church organized in 1853 and established a home in Cedartown in 1873. Its Romanesque Revival Sanctuary and Manse was built in 1889 on Herbert Street, where it served as the terminating vista of Philpott Street. When the church relocated to the north part of Cedartown in 1963, the sanctuary was torn down to extend Philpott Street from Herbert to Ware Street. The Methodist Church organized near the Big Spring in 1850, and in 1871 a Gothic-style sanctuary was built at College Street and Wissahickon Street Avenue. It was replaced by the current structure in 1953. St. James Episcopal Church at Bradford Street and West Avenue is the oldest church building in downtown Cedartown, built in 1883. It was established at the behest of wife of Amos G. West, the New York native who founded the Cherokee Iron Company and East and West Railroad, and became one of Cedartown's earliest industrialists. West helped provide the funding for the sanctuary, built in the Carpenter Gothic style. St. Bernadette's Catholic Church at the intersection of College Street and East Avenue was established in 1935. The existing building was built in 1941. Everyone loves a parade. Main Street Cedartown has always been a top choice for the area's parades, festivals, and special events, from the annual Fall Festival held each October to Shriners Parades, homecoming parades, and all sorts of political rallies, concerts, and barbecues. Main Street still serves as Cedartown's front porch. There's several pictures of various parades over the years. This marker is simply for Images of Yesteryear. It shows a drugstore, a Grand Theater, and Christmas time in Cedartown. Parker and Lundy, established in 1949. The late Senator James I. Parker established the law firm of Parker and Lundy on this site in 1949. William L. Lundy, Jr. joined the firm in 1985, and Richard J. Lundy in 1987. Charles E. Chuck Morris, Jr. in 1998, Laura L. Wheel in 2014, and State Representative Trey Kelly in 2014. This firm is known for representing plaintiffs in an array of matters, including personal injury, wrongful death, and medical malpractice. The feature film, A Larger Life, which was shot in and around Cedartown, is the true story of Georgia's largest malpractice verdict. in 2011 involving nursing home malpractice, which resulted in a verdict of $9,502,383 obtained by Parker and Lundy. This hometown firm cares about the community as much as its clients. Parker and Lundy founded the children's theater group known as the Cedartown Theater Performance Company, LLC, providing theater performance opportunities for this area's youth since 1998. From record-setting jury verdicts to a United States Supreme Court victory, this small firm in Cedartown, Georgia, has established a tradition of excellence. And then here's the whole building. Cedartown City Plan. Cedartown developed from the original town plan that resulted from Asa Pryor's division of land that included a courthouse square on the north side of the tract. The lots surrounding the square were planned to be sold as commercial lots. The Rome Road, today's Main Street, traversed the eastern side of Pryor's land grant. Because this area attracted more traffic, commercial development never took hold around the courthouse and instead grew southward along Main Street toward the Baptist Church, built on land donated by Pryor and William West in 1845. William West also set aside lots for development on his land east of Pryor's original courthouse grant. With Pryor's land on one side of Main Street and West on the other, the streets were laid out without four-way intersections. Why Pryor and West did not plan the streets of their two developments together is unknown, but leaves a unique urban plan today. In 1886, Charles Adamson of Philadelphia created the Cedartown Land Improvement Company and set about expanding industrial and residential developments in Cedartown. In 1891, Adamson hired a Philadelphia civil engineer, S.S. Evans, to lay out new streets extending from the existing limits of Cedartown. Many of the streets bear names of streets and places in Philadelphia, such as Wissahickon, Chestnut, Walnut, Fairmont, and Girard. This marker is for the founding of Cedartown. The earliest known inhabitants in the Cedartown area were the Cherokee Indians, who had taken over the surrounding territory from the Creek Indians in the 1760s. Cherokee settlements in the area was known as Charlietown, Cedartown, and Cleantown. By the 1820s, white settlers and scouts began to settle in the area. The trading posts were established near Tenyard Branch and the Big Spring. After gold was discovered in the northeast part of the state, Georgia pushed for the removal of the Cherokee Indian Nation by opening their land to settlement in 1832. As a result of land lotteries held by the state, white settlers streamed into the area. A post office was established in Cedartown in 1833. The First Baptist Church was founded in 1835. New settlers of Cedar Valley were rarely resisted by Cherokee, but the lawless nature of the new settlements led to conflicts between bands of outlaws and settlers attempting to build new communities. One notorious band called the Pony Club terrorized white and Indian farmers alike. It was not until a group of settlers called the Slick Club challenged the Pony Club that a sense of law and order was obtained. As Cedartown grew, pressure to remove the Cherokee from the state of Georgia mounted. In 1838, federal troops oversaw the forced migration of the Cherokee to new lands in what is now Oklahoma, known as the Trail of Tears. Residents began to lobby for the creation of a new county to serve Cedartown area. In 1858, Polk County, named for President James K. Polk, was formed and its county seat assigned to Cedartown. With Cedartown now requiring a new courthouse, Asa Pryor, a planter with a substantial landholding near the original trading post and Cherokee Village, dedicated a tract of land in 1852 for establishing a courthouse and laying out town plots. Cedartown was incorporated February 8, 1854. The Polk County Courthouses. The first courthouse in the area was a frame building erected in Van West in 1838 when Cedartown was made the county seat of the newly formed Polk County. As Asa Pryor sold land to the new county for a new courthouse for $1,200. The two-story frame courthouse was built in 1852 on an acre-size public square. The 1852 courthouse was burned by Union cavalry raids in the Civil War, and its replacement, a simple brick structure, was in use from 1867 to 1889. The two-story jail was built across the street behind the courthouse in 1874. A Confederate monument was added to the grounds in 1905. In 1889, Polk County Courthouse was designed by William Parkins, who designed other Georgia courthouses in Sparta, Vienna, and Lexington. I don't know if that's Vienna or Vienna here in Georgia. The something structure contained a clock tower and several turrets, ornamental details. Over time, the clock tower exhibited a disturbing lean. Fearing the structure failure, the clock tower was removed by the county during World War II. The current courthouse was designed in the striped classical style by William J.J. Chase and built in 1951. So if you can read that better than me, that's pretty much gone. Anyway, there's the courthouse across the way. The public works and buildings of Cedartown. Northwest Georgia is blessed with many limestone springs. When Van Wert was founded, hollowed out chestnut and cedar logs were fashioned to bring spring water from nearby hills into the village, making it one of the first communities in northwest Georgia with a municipal water supply. Cedartown's big spring was considered sacred by the Cherokee Indians, who used it as a water source and council ground. In 1838, Fort Cedartown was hastily built downstream from the spring to temporarily house Cherokee Indians being forcibly removed on the Trail of Tears. When Asa Pryor sold the area to the county for development, he stipulated that the spring remain for public use. Just before the Civil War, a hydraulic ram system was installed to pump water to the downtown area, and in 1891, Charles Adams' Cedartown Land Improvement Company built a waterworks building over the spring, still in use today, serving as the city's main water supply. Once Cedartown began building a water system, it established a fire company in 1898. Lacking a proper fire station, Cedartown built its first city hall to house it in 1901. It was in the Romanesque Revival style, designed to match the nearby courthouse and jail, and also included the City Council Recorder's Office and public auditorium called Lyceum. A new city hall, designed by Atlanta architect O.C. Poundstone, was built on the site in 1935 with WPA funding. The city hall was replaced by the Civic Complex in 1976 and became the courthouse annex, now called Polk County Courthouse No. 2. There's a statue that says, "Our Heroes." It is elected by the Cedartown chapter of the Confederate War, and it's got the soldier on top. Got some guns on the side. It's got writing on all four sides. This sign is for Polk County. Created December 20th, 1851, and named for President James Knox Polk, Cedartown was fittingly named for the trees which flourish in this beautiful valley. The city is a railroad center, has a thriving textile industry, and a large paper mill. Rockmart, 13 miles to the east, has textile mills that give the area much employment and a large payroll, as well as the center of Portland cement production. Ivy Ledbetter Lee, founder of the modern public relations, 1877 to 1934. Ivy Ledbetter Lee, public relations expert, author, lecturer, and philanthropist, was born July 16, 1877, near Cedartown. He attended Emory College for 2 years and then went to Princeton, where he earned an A.B. in 1898 paying his way by working on the university and New York newspapers. In January 1899, he arrived in New York with a raincoat, a diploma, and $5 and found work as a reporter. In 1904, pursuing his idea that big business needed better public relations, he opened a counseling office in New York. By 1915, he had begun a lifetime association as John D. Rockefeller's Publicity Council, especially in Rockefeller's widespread benevolences. Among Lee's other clients were the Pennsylvania Railroad and Bethlehem Steel, as well as numerous charities and churches to which he donated his services. The founder of the profession of public relations, Ivy Lee, a Georgia gentleman who described himself as a physician to corporate bodies, believed that corporations should not conceal the truth from the press and that business leaders should not shun publicity. His principles helped make the American business more public-spirited and humanitarian. He died of a brain tumor in New York City, November 8, 1934. This is the history of the Hawks Children's Library Building and the Polk County Historical Society. Albert King Hawks, 1848 to 1960, admired Andrew Carnegie's philanthropic endeavors involving bequests for libraries, and Hawks' particular interest was in founding children's libraries. And then there's also Joseph Neal Reed, 1885 to 1926. He apparently designed the building. Hawks Children's Library was established in 1921. It's had 5 librarians over the years. The PCHS garden is a walled garden behind the Hawks Children's Library. And then it also talks about the Historical Society. And this is the building that it's in. And this building has also been placed on the National Register of Historic Places. Sterling Holloway, 1905 to 1992. Sterling Price Holloway Jr., like his father, was named for the Confederate General Sterling Pap Price. He was born on this site and went to school here when he attended the Georgia Military Academy in College Park, now Woodward Academy. He later graduated from the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York with Spencer Tracy and Pat O'Brien. He then began a stage career before moving to Hollywood in 1930 to begin a movie career that was to last for 40 years. He was one of the busiest character actors in the movie and worked with Clark Gable, Joan Crawford, Marlene Dietrich, Bing Crosby, Barbara Stanwyck, Jimmy Cagney, Fred Astaire, and Gary Cooper. In 1941, Holloway's voice was heard in his first Walt Disney animated film, Dumbo. His voice appeared in Bambi, Peter and the Wolf, Alice in Wonderland, Jungle Book, and the Winnie the Pooh series. He acted in many television series, including The Life of Riley, The Untouchables, Superman, Hazel, The Twilight Zone, Gilligan's Island, and Andy Griffith. He sang the first hit song, Manhattan, by the team Rodgers and Hart in 1925, and his Disney production of Croc Five's Peter and the Wolf remains the most popular version ever recorded. His recordings, especially as Pooh Bear in the Winnie the Pooh series, made his voice famous all over the world. Big Spring Park. Asa Pryor, born in Virginia about 1785, pioneered into this valley and purchased a large tract of land, including this spring and Cedar Creek, in 1834. In 1852, he deeded the spring and 10 adjacent acres to the city of Cedartown. Another pioneer, Mr. Walthall, established the Walthall Indian Trading Post near the spring. Peace-loving Cherokees gathered here. Indian young people danced their corn dance under the cedar trees. The Cedar Valley Garden Club beautified this park. A shrine was dedicated to the memory of Senator William Julius Harris, whose funeral was held in the park April 21st, 1932. This is the Cedartown Waterworks Women's Building, Big Spring Park Historic District. And this is the actual Waterworks building. Let's come over to the side, get a good look at the side of the building. So it's definitely an old brick building. Trail of Tears, Cherokee, walking their footsteps. The area surrounding the Cedartown Big Spring was first inhabited by the Cherokee Indians. The land was prized for its abundance of sparkling spring water and the shade providing cedar trees. The Cherokee people lived here peacefully until May 26, 1838, when militiamen began their forced roundup as part of the 1830 Indian Removal Act. 80 soldiers set up a military post here on this very land, creating Camp Cedartown. More than 200 Cherokee men, women, and children were captured during a month's time. Soldiers used the camp as a place to hold the Cherokee captive until they were forced to travel to deportation camps in Tennessee and later farther west. Because of this, the land where you now stand plays a significant role in the Trail of Tears. On this ground, the Cherokee people wept, mourning the loss of the land they loved and the lives lost along the trail paved with tears. Well, those were the markers in Cedartown. I hope you learned something just like I learned something. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Historical Markers.